I mean, I feel like the need to just relate it back again to my work, because my work is a lot about looking at, okay, in the East, like the way that cloth is used is very much more fluidly. It's not tailored, it's not cut, it's like pure cloth, because they know there is that narrative of how long it takes to make cloth. That it's a very precious piece of material, that they don't cut it and tailor it. Traditionally, this is. And then in the West, where it's very much about being tailored and fixed, and gender, and how gender was also the Western concepts and ideals of gender was taken, to outside of the West in the global South, and put onto those cultures. So I think that for me, that connection is there in terms of androgyny and fluidity of gender compared to the West, where it's very much about fixed gender, fixed clothing. So I don't know, maybe reclaiming tradition or seeing another perspective of how we wear clothes and then how our gender fits in with that.
Thank you.
And specifically speaking to that, or I guess not the potential that was just laid out, but the way things are in the West, my answer would be always quickly no, in the sense that I hope not, precisely for two of these, two branches, two reasons. One is that so often in the West, when I hear the words androgynous or androgynous used, it really just means masculine, and I actually I think feminine clothing or female I don't know if femme type sartorial choices are lit and actually should remain and be centered. So if there was an androgyny that centered that, then I'd be for it. And then also it not just means there's a lot of things that go with that androgynous being reduced to the masculine. Also, was pointed out, Roger pointed out, it would mean not just well tailored or well fit, but slim or narrow or fitting a specific kind of body. So if we had androgynous that wasn't just femme centered and femme uplifting, but also had fat femmes being that's androgynous, and I absolutely see how that's androgynous, and not angular or pointed or masculine, then I'd be for it. But since that's literally not the case, and what we have are women, cis white women, Kate something or other specifically I'm thinking about, who can put on a pompadour and put on a suit and open the blouse just a little bit, and then everyone all my butch friends are losing their minds, and all this is people losing their minds because how radical and how amazing is this. I say no. I say it has to be if the future is androgynous, it has to be fat, it has to be femme, it has to be black or brown. Mm-hmm. So
okay. Thank you. Yeah, as you touched upon, I think it needs to be a true representation. If that's the way that the fashion is going, the Westernized culture, as you said, is confined to gender in particular, and I think that should be the way it is. As you said, it should have true representations of all cultures and diverse ethnic minorities, because we are included within that number of people, and so that's an important point. I think the Westernized culture needs to accept and break down barriers of obviously having, certain representations in place, and have everyone represented for it to be, a true representation.
I got nothing to add. I think essay kill it me. Yeah, just short answer, that androgyny won't fit me, so now.
Wasn't there an androgynous label that was in Selfridges or something?
Yeah, that was shit.
Yeah, what was it? What did it look like?
I'm not into that.
Anyway, they're trying it, so it probably failed, but yeah, they're trying.
I also want to just toss out something that should be, what was it called?
Agenda, I think it was called.
Oh, that's right.
Does anyone here know about it?
Off the record,
pop-up stores they have around Selfridges with some determined brands they put on the say it's just genderless kind of clothing.
Yeah.
I also wanted to add just really quickly that I don't think I understand mobilizing, terms like people of color or black and minority ethnics, and in the fashion industry, I really don't think. I think that's a misrepresentation and a shifting of power away from the people who actually have all the power. So we're raw material and source material, from the people who produce the cloth to the people who are being observed on the streets, who are like creating the culture and these fashion forward trends. It actually is the minority of people who like whose bodies like look like that, and like who are hyper tall, have angular features, who can like be clothes hangers for like runways and like put anything on and then have it fit them, androgynous or not. And I think if we recognize that we're not the minority ethnics, but actually like the actual creators of capital T and C, the culture, but also various cultures, I think that's a like radical thing that we can mobilize around.